Hi, my name is Kevin Burns, the coordinator of Children's Formation. I hope you enjoyed week 1 of Family Connections, and going into week 2, I'd like to give you some broader biblical context that Mark's readers would have known, and he knew they knew, but every generation has to learn these things. It's not just something that we always know. So here's some of the context to Mark chapter 2, which is primarily what we'll be reading for this week, and that is there's some similar themes in these stories, and that is Jesus does something. The Pharisees say you can't do that, and Jesus says, but I can. He's causing scandal within at least the Pharisees. And so we see this in a few different ways. The first way we see is Jesus sits with Levi, the tax collector, the sinner. Why do you say with sinners? You're dishonoring yourself. Well, I came not for the righteous, but for the sinners. Then he forgives sins and heals a paralyzed man. Then he is not fasting like when he's supposed to with his disciples. And some of these things aren't actually laws of Moses. Some of these things are just misinterpretations or made up laws by the Pharisees. Jesus gets into that elsewhere in the gospel. But what we see is Jesus teaching us something about himself. He is new. He's not like what came before. All the things that came before in the Old Testament are pointing to him. He's fulfilling the law. He's fulfilling the prophets. He is new. He mentions David and how David was given an exception to break the law. And Jesus is like, but I'm greater than David. He is the Messiah from David's line. He is the great prophet Moses talked about. He is remaking everything, all of creation. And he's teaching us about himself. He came for sinners. He can forgive sins. And he's greater than everything that came before. And yet, he's meek and humble of heart. And we know how this journey ends. Just know that when we read through these Old Testament readings, when we read through the New Testament, which points back to Jesus because it was written after he ascended, it's all pointing towards him. And the Old Testament, all the piety, all the rituals, everything was preparing the people for the coming of the Messiah. And when he came, he changed everything. And that's what he's showing us. Let us know how this goes. Please check in at the end of the week. And if you didn't check in last week, still time to do so. And if there's anything you need from us, if there's any suggestions you have, please feel free to reach out. We're always looking to improve. Thank you. God bless. We're praying for you. And make sure to put your prayer requests in if you have any. We are looking at those and we are praying for them. Thank you and God bless.